Hey everybody, I hope everybody is doing well, especially during this time, this crisis. So I hope you're safe and healthy. I'm stopping by again this week. I'm on the roll. I've been doing it weekly, pretty good. So I got to give myself a little pat on the back. But this is Erica Burnett, and I just wanted to share another quick making card technique. It's not even really it's just a quick way of doing a nice little card, little note with no sentiment. I'm not using a sentiment today, so no sentiment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, and I'm doing it on a piece of white cardstock, which is this, and it's already folded, pre-folded, which is four and a quarter by 5.5. So I'm going to use that. But first, it's like a rip effect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rip this piece of paper as neatly as possible, but it doesn't have to be neat. So, and I'm going to do it straight down the middle. So I'm going to show you here and just rip. Take your time and rip as best you can. You might go off the end a little bit, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. And just rip that in half. All right, I did pretty good. I know that's right. Normally I mess up. So that's what that looks like. I just want to show you those two pieces here. So next, I'm going to get my Misty tool out. It's a stamping tool, which is absolutely great, and it's become my favorite tool. And this is what it looks like. That's the Misty. So I've already put the first stamp in here. It's already on, so you can see that image. So you can see what that image looks like. So I have that already here. So now I'm going to place the folded card in the Misty tool on the side I'm going to stamp on, and I'm placing it at 7. That's just where I decided to place it. And right about there is where I'm going to place it. I'm going to leave it there. So now I'm going to take a piece of this paper that I ripped. I'm going to take a piece of that, and I'm going to place it at the top here. And I'm going to tape it down with some blue painter's tape. There's a magnet that you can use for the Misty, which is here, but it'll be in the way, so I'm not going to use it. So I'm going to use some little tape to hold this in place. So my card is in place. Move it over a little bit. And this paper here, that's where I want to stamp. Just right there. And I'm going to put some tape here so it holds it in place. And I'm going to do that on both sides. Okay, so now I'm also going to take that second piece, and I'm going to place it down here, and I'm going to tape that right here. And I just want enough open space so you can actually, see the design. So I'm going to do that. And let's see, I think right here is good. Yeah. My paper moved a bit, which is fine. I can always put it back in place. But take that, get some blue tape. I'm going to move that down a little bit. I think right about here is good. Tape that down so it doesn't move. And do the other part so that doesn't move. So it's down for the count. Wait a minute. Looks like that's lifting up a little bit. So re-secure it. There you go. Okay, now I'm going to take and I'm going to use the color Pumpkin Pie by Stampin' Up. Stampin' Up is one of my favorite places to get ink. So I'm going to stamp the tool. And what I love about this tool is that you can stamp multiple times. So if it doesn't come out the first time, you can go back and stamp in a very same place. And it does not mess up. It doesn't cross any borders, any lines. And you have a chance to stamp where your image comes out nice and rich looking. And maybe, you know, if I don't get it the first time, I'll show you what I mean with that. So I'm stamping. I'm getting the ink on the stamp, covered as much as possible. And now I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it down and I'm going to push. I push with my fingers just to make sure that's coverage. And you know what? It might not do it right the first time. And I say that, let me put it over here. And so you can see. And I say that because I'm working on linen cardstock. And linen cardstock has some grooves and things in it. So I'm going to lift that up so you can see what that image looks like. So it's not well covered, which is what I expected, being as though I'm using linen paper. So we're going to go over it one more time to see if the second time does it. Okay, this time may do it if I'm lucky. Okay. If I'm lucky, I'm going to put this in the center so you can see it. And hopefully I'm lucky enough that this impression will be a good one. So let's see. I'm pressing on all points, even though the whole stamp is not going to show. I feel better just doing the whole thing. So let's see what happens. It came out a little better. Now you see how the image stamped right over top of itself without any problems. It did not, the stamp didn't move. You don't see any extra marks around the edges. That's what I love about it. You can stamp multiple times in the same place so you can get that rich look that you really want for your image. So I'm going to do it one more time. And hopefully it'll stamp like I want it to. And let's see what happens. I think the third time is a charm. I think it'll be okay. There you go. That's fine. I'm cool with that. All right, so that image is now on there, and that's perfectly fine. So now I'm going to clean that off so you can see what that looks like. I'm going to clean that off with a little baby wipe. And then I'm going to remove it because I'm going to stamp over that with another stamp. So I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to wipe this area as well. Always keep it's very easy to transfer ink over to your project, and you don't want to, you know, stamp and work so hard to create a card and then just mess it up like I do all the time, often. I must admit, very often. So now this is the pattern I'm going to use right here. I absolutely love this pattern. Love it, but don't use it often. But I decided to use it today. So I'm sorry, I'm shaking my camera. I had to stop it for a minute. But okay, so now I'm going to line up the stamp. You always line it up here because I didn't show you how I put that on the first time. So in the Misty tool, what you do is you line up your stamp where you want it to the image to show. And so I'm going to put it right here in the middle so it covers the areas that I would like to stamp on. And then you just take this, and because this is made of acrylic, it just sticks onto the back of the cling stamp. And you just press. You just press down and you lift up, and there you go. And that's all you have it. So now I'm going to use basic gray. Basic gray is close to black, not quite, but it's close. And I decided to use that, you know, instead of doing black. So I'm doing basic gray. Also by Stampin' Up. Told you, one of my favorite companies. I'm going to cover the whole stamp with the gray. And again, if I don't get the look I want on the image, I can always stamp it again. And again, and again. And it will not budge. It will not mess up. It will not show any signs of like overlapping, anything like that. All right, so I may only have to do it once depending, but let me see. So I'm gonna do that. Press down, and I always press down using my fingers. That's just me. That's just the way I do it, just to make sure I get all the pressure points, you know. Ooh, you know what? I think I'm going to leave it like that. I think I'm going to leave it like that. That's a nice looking pattern. So I'm actually going to leave it that way. So now I get to pull it off, and you get to see exactly what it looks like. Okay. That's one. And that's two. Okay, so now I'm going to pull this off of here, pull it to the side. And I decided to maybe put some buttons on. I'm a button fanatic, so anybody who knows me, I just want to show you what that pattern looks like. This is what the card looks like from that little tear. That's what it looks like. So it's just like it's like abstract art. So I have my little bag of buttons. So I'm going to dig in here and see if I can find some buttons just to throw on there really, really, really quickly. And maybe a couple here and there. Just a couple, just a couple. I don't know if I like that one. You know what? I think there you go. That's my color combination right there. So just a few buttons. I actually like that. I'm a button fanatic, I tell you. Alright, so I'm going to stick some buttons on there using my little glue dots. And just place them down wherever you want to place them. You don't have to have a special places wherever you want to put them. That one's a little thick. You know what? I'm going to do another light one. I'll do this one. And there you have it, abstract art with some added buttons. A real easy card for you to make. Thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate you hanging out with me and taking a look at these videos. And if you have anything I could do better, any comments, any questions, feel free to drop a note in the comment section. Continue to be safe, and I look forward to doing another video. Hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.